Hey, man, what can I say? When you want something done, you got to do it yourself. Salute to the NBA community and good morning. Welcome back to the Best of 7 Sports Talk. Y'all already know the vibes when it comes to the talk of the National Basketball Association. I'm your host, Seven Mitchell, man. Y'all know the vibes. It's 8 o'clock, people. Wake up. It's time to rock. Got a couple things to talk about this morning, man, here on the Best of 7. So make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys enjoy daily NBA content. So I made a decision, boys and girls. I made a decision. And I'm going to try to be as consistent with this as I possibly can because the simple fact is I want to be able to be reliable when it comes to talking this thing that we love called basketball. So with that being said, the Best of 7 Sports Talk, as of now, will be live streaming every weekday at 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Give it up for the brand. Yes. I'm going to try this, and I'm going to try it consistently. So the Best of 7 Sports Talk will have a morning NBA show every morning, weekdays here, live on YouTube at 8 o'clock a.m. We're going to try it. Make sure we get this thing together. But again, man, salute to the NBA community. Make sure, again, as you come in, make sure that you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also, man, become a member. Join the new membership here at the Best of 7 Sports Talk, man. We got a lot of things actually on deck. We got some exclusive content, giveaways, perks, prizes, you name it. We are lit for this basketball season. So y'all guys make sure y'all come through, join the membership, get early access to some of the content we got. That's how we rocking, man. That's how we rocking here on the Best of 7. Let's get into it, man, because I don't have that much time to waste. As another quick reminder, if you guys enjoy daily NBA content, be sure to follow me everywhere on social media, 24/7, 365. Y'all already know how we are rocking. Now, let's get into the first story of the day, man. Let's talk about the homie, Kyrie Irving. Let's talk about Kyrie Irving. Is Kyrie Irving a rental in Dallas, or is Kyrie actually long-term? What are we looking at when we think about Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks? What is this relationship going to actually evolve to? So I'm watching last night, and I expected this to happen. I didn't want it to happen, but we've seen this happen before. Last night, Dallas, they lost to the who did they play last night? The Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota almost blew a 26-point lead. I got to talk to the bosses about the Timberwolves. Let's be real. But the problem with last night is that Luka and Kyrie could not decide who was going to be the man in the moment. And that surprised me because I knew that Kyrie going in was going to defer to Luka. Kyrie was not going to come into this ball club and try to take over. Now, mind you, Kyrie has now played 4 games with the Dallas Mavericks. He got traded last week. The first 2 games, he played well, and Dallas won. He has now played with Luka 2 games so far with his in his addition to Dallas, and they have lost both games. They lost the overtime game over the weekend, I believe, versus the Sacramento Kings, and then they just lost last night versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. So you got Kyrie Irving giving the ball to Luka in the last seconds. Then you got Luka giving it. Well, you got Luka giving it to Kyrie, and then you got Kyrie giving it back to Luka. They didn't even get a shot off, and it's just like, man, is this going to be the storyline of the season of who's going to defer to who? Is somebody going to actually take some like a hold of the leadership role? We saw this kind of play out in Miami a little bit when LeBron had first went to the Heat that first year. You know how he kind of deferred to D Wade. This was still Wade County, and they made it to the finals, but the end result wasn't good. Partially because of LeBron's play, but the end result wasn't good. I think you got to have a defined leader. I think you got to have a defined closer. And Luka and Kyrie have definitely done a good job in their career of sealing deals, closing games. So it's not like it's a wrong decision on who actually attempts the last shot if you get the last shot. I don't have a problem with whoever takes it. But this is Luka's team, and you got to have that communication, I think, honestly, off the rip, known. You know, I think Luka was playing team basketball, giving it to Kyrie because Luka needs help. So Luka did exactly what needed to be done. And I think Kyrie, instead, he faked the 3-point shot. And I think for a minute, a split second, Kyrie just realized this is not my team. I don't want to blow this. I don't want to create new narratives and things like that. So let me, quote unquote, make the right play. And it just didn't pan out like that. So Luka and Kyrie, the experiment, for what it's worth, it's a small sample size, but they have not won a game together yet. So that's kind of interesting because we talked about defense, how they were going to be suspect on defense. Minnesota almost blew that lead. Now, Kyrie went off in the fourth quarter. He had more points in the fourth quarter than he's ever had in the fourth quarter, I believe, in his career. I think he dropped 26 of his 36 points in the last 12 minutes last night. Luka had 33. So those guys didn't play bad at all. Don't get it twisted. But watching that final set of plays in that final series, not knowing who's going to be your closer is going to come back to bite you. I don't think you can go wrong with either guy, but a decision has to be made before you even get in that moment. I don't really want to blame Luka. I don't want to say Kyrie, made the wrong call, even though he made the mistake. But you just will hope to get a shot off. You will hope to get a shot off, and neither one of those guys allowed themselves to really give their team a chance to win at the end. That really was the most disappointing part. So I do think at the end of the day, in reality, they'll get that part together. I think that's not nothing that a conversation or two or just some games together, it'll definitely change. I'm still sticking with this is actually Luka's team. Kyrie, again, is a great finisher, a great closer. There's going to be times that Kyrie will have to close and seal a deal for the Dallas Mavericks. I think Luka understands that. Kyrie, pretty sure I'm sure he understands that. When is that going to happen? I think that's what Kyrie may be wrestling with, wanting to do the right thing, making the right step. Because I don't honestly think that this is going to be a long-term relationship, getting back to the topic at hand. I honestly think that Kyrie Irving is going to be a rental with the Mavericks. For what reason, honestly, would Kyrie sign an extension? Or why would Dallas actually opt to extend the contract or give him a max deal? On paper, Kyrie is definitely one of the best point guards in the game. But is Kyrie honestly the type of player that you want to build around with Luka? If you plan on having Luka there for the majority of his career, if you're looking to build that type of culture, is Kyrie a good fit for him? I don't think NBA championship this year is going to answer that question. I still think it's a long shot for Dallas to win the championship, but watching the chemistry, watching how they react off of each other, that's going to play a role. And last night was one of those moments that I think that, a lesson has to be learned. Now, history could repeat itself. We could have this same problem again where we get to a close game and these guys having a hard time figuring out who's going to seal a deal, who's going to close. You got to know your personnel. The head coach, Jason Kidd, for the Dallas Mavericks, you know what I'm saying? He's going to have to make the right plays, make the right adjustments. Dallas should be good. They should be good. But, last night, seeing these guys not being able to decide who was going to finish it, who was going to close the game, who was going to really seal a deal for the Mavericks, it just reminded me of LeBron when he first went to to Miami and deferred to D Wade, and how they just couldn't get it done back in that first year, 2011 versus Dallas. Once D Wade gave the keys over to LeBron James, we saw the success of the Miami Heat. I'm not saying that Luka need to give the keys over to Kyrie. I just think that they just need to do a better job of identifying their roles. It's still early. But for Kyrie and Luka to now be 0-2, people are going to be looking and talking right now like this thing is just not going to work. Even though it's a small sample size, they lost a close overtime game against Sacramento over the weekend, and they lost a game that they really should have won or had a chance. They didn't even give themselves a chance to really win the game against Minnesota last night after being down by so many points. And when you look at those two games are about clutch gene, about close. Kyrie is known to have clutch gene. Luka has known to have a clutch gene. So, like I said, man, the decision making within which one of those two guys are going to be making the final shots, attempting the final shots, you can't go wrong with Kyrie. You can't go wrong with Luka. But those guys need to understand their role, and they need to do it sooner than later. Because Kyrie has now played with the Mavericks 4 games. He won the first 2 without Luka. He paired up with Luka. They haven't won a game. They 0-2, and they 2 close games. 2 games that Dallas should have won. So, still a small sample size of basketball. But watching Kyrie and Luka go back and forth in the final seconds last night and not even get a shot off, I think a conversation definitely needs to be had about, who's going to, take that last shot. Kyrie just got to mentally play smarter. Kyrie, like I said, I just don't think Kyrie is trying not to make the wrong move. He's trying to do everything right. He knows this is Luka's team, so he's trying not to make the wrong move. I do feel like this is a rental. I don't feel like Kyrie is actually going to be in Dallas for a long time. I think this is the only season. Even if Dallas was to, for some reason, win the Larry O'Brien trophy, I just don't think that Kyrie is a good fit culture-wise in Dallas. So, the best of luck. It's going to be exciting to see him and Luka in the backcourt this season. I do feel like they suspect on defense. And, more importantly, if these guys don't know their defined role, once these games get close, once the game slows down in April and in May, you're looking at a team that could really cost themselves because of the mistake making. It's really interesting to see. But Dallas, man, they almost got the win last night, but they couldn't get it done. Kyrie and Luka now is 0-2 playing together. Kyrie is now 2-2 overall with the Dallas Mavericks. So we'll see how that play out. But I do feel like Kyrie Irving is a rental. I don't think he's a long-term answer for Luka's career, nor for the culture of the Dallas Mavericks. Again, it's still funny to me to see the Jewish owner, Mark Cuban, who has so much to say about Kyrie Irving when we had this whole anti-Semitism situation It's funny now to see Mark Cuban being the one to sign Kyrie Irving's checks. It's a dirty game. It's a funny business. If you would have asked Mark Cuban back when that situation happened, would he have had Kyrie on his ball club? Mark Cuban would have said, hell no. He'd have said, hell no. And I know Mark Cuban, just because he's Jewish, I mean, he's a rebel. He sometimes goes against the grain. Some can call Mark Cuban a black sheep. But picking up Kyrie now was all for Luka. It's just apparent that Luka Doncic needs help. And, that really was the best available help out there at the time. But I don't think that Mark Cuban has any plans on keeping Kyrie in Dallas. I don't think Dallas is a good culture for Kyrie. And I don't think Kyrie really is the right player to assist Luka in Luka's legacy. You know what I mean? Like, no doubt or question that Luka needs the help. But you got two guys that's really, and Kyrie plays well off the ball. Kyrie plays well off the ball, but you're looking at long term. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like these guys will be a real major threat right now at this point, but we'll see how this thing play out. But I do feel like this is a rental. I don't feel like Kyrie is going to be there after this season. How much of a noise can they actually make? I don't know. I think we're still trying to figure out what the Mavericks are going to do defensively. I think defensively they are going to be suspect, no doubt about that. But we'll see how it play out when it comes to Kyrie Irving and the Dallas Mavericks. The next game, I think let me see what the Mavericks record actually is right now. Dallas is actually in fifth place in the Western Conference. They're now 31-28. They're 9.5 games out of first place in the West. They are currently tied with the Clippers for the fifth seed in the Western Conference. They're only a half a game behind Utah. I mean, they're only a half a game behind Phoenix, but I think Phoenix is going to go on a crazy run. About to get into the next topic. Give me 1 second. I apologize, guys. Make sure you guys follow me on social media if you enjoy daily NBA content 24/7 and 365. Salute. All right, let's get into the next thing on deck, man. I wanted to talk about LBJ. I wanted to talk about LeBron James. LeBron James, year 20, age 38. Hypothetically, the Lakers, they took a loss last night to Portland. Right now in the standings, the Lakers are currently in the 13th spot in the Western Conference. They are now about, I want to say, 2.5 games out of that final 10th spot for the play-in. Right now, Utah is currently holding on to that. So between the 10th spot, the Lakers still got OKC, Portland, and Utah. Two teams that the Lakers actually lost to in these last few games. So those were two big losses. LeBron James, he broke the all-time record last week versus Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. LeBron has surpassed Magic Johnson in the all-time assist list. He's top 5 in all-time assists, right? And I'm just sitting there wondering and thinking, like, if the Lakers lose the playoffs or don't make it to the playoffs this season, how much is that going to hurt LeBron James' legacy? Because I know what people will say before. Oh, it would damage it. It would destroy it. the whole GOAT conversation to be over. This will be another playoff that LeBron James have not made, which is kind of abnormal. We've never really heard of LeBron not making the playoffs until this whole experience and relationship with the Lakers. But I'm just wondering, like, with all the records and accomplishments that LeBron made this season, will they get overlooked if the Lakers aren't able to get rocking and rolling? One moment, people. Getting back to the get back. I do apologize, people. But yeah, it's crazy. But I do feel like people are going to totally bypass everything that LeBron James did this year if the Lakers don't make the play-in. And a part of me want to feel like, this is not LeBron's fault that the Lakers are playing so bad. But then I got to just put it in context, and I'm just wondering, like, and it's hard because people will say, could Michael, you know, get this team into the playoffs, or could Kobe have gotten this team into the playoffs? And that's where I was thinking last night, but it makes me think about prime Michael and prime Kobe. Could those guys get it to where it needs to be? And I don't know if that's fair to LeBron James at year 20, at 38 years of age, because LeBron is probably playing the greatest basketball because his mental and physical game is both up there. But when you talk about prime time LeBron James, most people feel like that was the Miami days, or that second stint with Cleveland. But overall, I don't know, man. I just feel like if the Lakers do not make it to the playoffs, people are really going to go at LeBron. They're going to say that the record was selfish. They're going to say that he sacrificed team success in order to get the record. And some people might be right. LeBron has been dealing with an injury, but since he broke the record, I don't think LeBron has played. He's missed the last couple games since he broke the record. I thought that they would have sat him down early and make him break the record, or have him break the record in Milwaukee. He broke it a game prior versus OKC. They lost that one. Then they played Milwaukee, and they played again last night, and LeBron didn't play. So it's still some basketball is still a go. There's no question about that. The Lakers, the roster that they got, the additions that they got, they definitely have a team that can make a run. But I'm not sold that LA can make a run without everybody being all in. So you would literally need LeBron on the court. You would literally need AD on the court. You would need these guys to be, have substantial chemistry time, enough time to really gel with these other big guys that the Lakers got, because the Lakers definitely acquired some size over the last week or two. And the Lakers might not even be over when we talk about additions and things to the actual roster. But things are really going to have to get pushed into overdrive. You know what I'm saying? LeBron is going to have to come back if he is hurt, or I don't know if it's a load management thing. I do know he was dealing with an injury, but I don't know how significant it is. But I think the most important thing, though, is that the Lakers got to make it to the play-in. They have to. Because if the Lakers do not make the play-in tournament, not only is that going to be another stain on LeBron's legacy, according to the haters, everything that he accomplished, people are going to put it in the back seat because they're going to say it was selfish. So I don't know. I feel like LBJ is the GOAT. if these guys don't make the playoffs this year, I'm not blaming LeBron for the Lakers not making the playoffs. Looking at the team that they had, looking at the adjustments that Rob Pelinka refused to make, I can't blame that on LeBron. But sometimes you got to just look at the team, and I'm just like, yo, why can't LeBron get this thing done? If LeBron is the GOAT, he should be able to get some wins that the Lakers were not getting. We've had those conversations over the last couple of years. And I think a lot of that kind of is geared towards LeBron not being as aggressive, not having that Mamba mentality, having that Jordan type of vibe. Like, he wants to make the right play at the end of the day, and he's willing to win or lose as long as the play is right. I think if he would have been more assertive and more aggressive, there would have been a couple more games that the Lakers could have won, thanks to LeBron versus LeBron, putting it in somebody else's hands. So it's going to be very, very, very interesting to find out. But I think that a lot is going to ride on the Lakers making the playoffs this year. And even though they haven't had the greatest of shooters, when you look at the Western Conference now, the Western Conference have gotten even tougher. The Lakers really honestly had a chance to make the playoffs. Before this whole Kevin Durant thing going to Phoenix, the East was the best conference this season. Now the momentum has shifted a little bit. I think the Western Conference may be the actual strongest conference right now. So that could be a little tougher for LeBron James to actually, adjust and help the Lakers get into the playoffs. But it's going to have to be a team effort. No doubt about that. And, last but not least, I saw a report that Chris Paul is really trying to recruit and get the Phoenix Suns to sign Carmelo Anthony. And that was interesting to me. I was just like, man, Chris Paul is really going all in. And him and Carmelo are two of the stars that don't have a ring. Those are two guys that have definitely done a lot for this game, but they do not have a ring. Carmelo tried to get it done with LeBron, and it didn't happen. Chris Paul, him and Phoenix, they went to the finals. They came up a little short. But they got Kevin Durant. I'm feeling like Phoenix should be the favorite going into the Western Conference in a sense. You got to see how they play. And you always got to respect Golden State, the defending champions. But I'm not mad at anybody to feel like Phoenix is the clear-cut favorite to take the West. But Chris Paul trying to pick up Carmelo Anthony, I don't like it because I'm a Lakers fan, but I love it for Carmelo Anthony. I love it for Chris Paul as well. Bringing Carmelo to Phoenix doesn't guarantee a championship, but you talk about maximizing your opportunity. I think that's it right there. But I guess tomorrow we're going to talk about Kevin Durant, because let's say Phoenix actually wins the championship this year. And let's say Kevin Durant is the finals MVP. Will Kevin Durant will be criticized and judged negatively for being successful? Are we going to look at Kevin Durant in a good space because he went to Phoenix and won a championship? Or are we going to look at KD like he rode the tail, the coattail of another established ball club? I wonder how the storylines and narratives is going to play out when we talk about KD and the Brooklyn Nets. KD and the Phoenix Suns, because, he was the best player on Golden State. He won the 2 finals MVPs. People feel like that was still Steph Curry's team. I know everybody knew that was going to be still Steph Curry's team. I wonder how is it going to be and play out in Phoenix if Kevin Durant wins a championship. Well, we look at it as like, LeBron going to another franchise and winning the championship. Will we look at it like that? Or will we look at KD as a guy that just can't get it done on his own, so to speak, like a LeBron. It's going to be interesting to see, man, but this is a conversation that we will definitely continue tomorrow. You guys are now rocking with the best man, 7 Mitchell. This is the best of 7 sports talk about to get up out of here, man. Again, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Follow me everywhere on social media. Most definitely, man, become a member here at the best of 7 sports talk for early access to content, perks, prizes, giveaways, you name it. We got it. Salute to you guys. Big up to the NBA community. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern, here at the best of 7 sports talk. Y'all stay safe, and I'm signing off. Y'all be good, guys. Peace.